Hey, dude, how's it going,
What's
man?
up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, we'll figure this out. Some technical difficulties to start us
Yeah,
off tonight, but
it's all
that's how
good. We
we
got
that's
it.
how we do, right?
We got it.
Awesome. So, we know the spiel, right? You're
Yep.
Ed Axion Figs,
And that's Travis, Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful,
The
and we are.
Mr. Wonderful. We
Thank you,
are
thank you. I am the Mr. Wonderful, but we
yes.
are the Toy
Toy
Leet.
Leap.
So, thanks for jumping in, folks. We appreciate you guys jumping on. We were having some technical difficulties getting things adjusted. We're continuing
Yeah.
to hopefully enhance the overall style of the show. As you guys know, those that have been following us, we've kind of taken the channel here in a slightly different direction, right? I'm not Ed's son, even though I probably look as young as his son, and
You're,
that type of thing. But
you're almost
we
young enough to be my son.
you know we
Almost.
we like to talk plastic and the general toy industry and really like pop culture when it comes to movies. Like you and I were really pumped about I was going to call it the Animal Warriors the Kingdom movie, but
Yes.
it's actually the Planet of the Apes movie.
Yeah.
On the show.
I think one of the things for our show is that we're trying to cover topics that are adjacent, but not just discuss the new figures that are coming out and all that stuff. That's on everybody else's channel. You want to see the real news, like this figure's coming out, this figure was announced. You know, there's Punk's channel.
Yep.
There's lots of other channels for that. The Robos on every Saturday.
Yep.
So if you guys want to see the news, it's like that type of news where it's what Hasbro's releasing this week. That's the place to go. We cover a lot of some independent news, and we discuss a lot of things that are action figure adjacent. And
Exactly. No, that's a perfect way to explain it. We have our normal agenda, right, with our big topic that we'll cover. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But we always like to throw some positivity and shine a light on someone from within the community that we've connected with or we
spread
see in the
the love.
chats. So exactly, and that's the shout out from the creek. So we'll go into that a little bit later, where Ed will touch base on that. I'll go ahead and through some weekly news. Ed'll help chime in on some of those items, and then we also have what's kind of becoming our thing, which is that ToyLeet or toilet segment. Whether we like the toy and it's an elite figure, or whether it gets flushed down the toilet. And so far, we are 5 for 5, I think, right? On the ToyLeet toilet segment.
Yeah.
Tonight we're gonna. I've got an interesting one that I'll talk about a little bit later. That we'll go through and we'll see if that one gets the shelf or the flush. So yeah,
That's right.
Ed, do you want to hit the chat up real quick?
Yeah. So right now we got Aaron paints toy samples in the house. He doesn't have anything else better to do than hang out and watch us. So we appreciate that, Aaron. And a new show up for the night, Toy Domination.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate your support, man.
Stopping in.
Love what you do over on your stream. You guys definitely check out Toy Dom over there. He's got some cool stuff. He's got a game.
Absolutely.
He's big into the world building of the 1/18th Ed, and he's one of the channels that I started watching a bunch of when I started messing around with those Joy toys, dude.
Oh yeah, I've watched some of his stuff in the past too, for sure. There's
Awesome.
so much stuff on YouTube that I can't even keep up anymore. So.
Yeah, there's so many subs, dude. Like,
yeah,
so much stuff.
This guy here, I don't know what he's doing. Black Knight, what's up, brother?
I hope he's packing a box for me because I'm sure I got something coming.
You probably should anyway, right?
Exactly.
And then Maddie, what's up? This is one of my buddies that's local. He stops in and checks us out, watches the replay a lot because he's usually busy, but he's a avid outdoorsman and hiker himself. So,
good deal.
Him and I have actually bumped into each other just hiking on a random trail once a couple of times. So.
Is he one of those guys that caught you in the wilderness playing with your plastic? It sounds so absurd, by the way, doesn't it? Playing with your plastic.
He caught me playing with myself, but not with my toys.
Oh man, demonetized. No, yeah.
He didn't even care.
Absolutely.
He just joined in and said, "Let's do this."
All the boxes are packed for the day. Well, thank you, Aaron. We appreciate you, brother.
There you go.
And for those that are, just recently tuning in, we appreciate you guys. One of the things we like to do is champion the people that we respect and appreciate in the community. Black Knight over there at Hella Dope Toys. He's the first place I stopped to get a figure. And a lot of times if they don't have it on the site, Aaron will vouch for the fact that I'm like, hey, is this something you can get for me? Just because, I like to support the good guys that over there at Hella Dopes between Aaron.
Yeah, there might, Aaron was saying the other night on the show about how they want to be the person's like secondary backup, right? Those guys are my go-to. I don't
They're my go-to.
I go to the other guys if I can't get it from them guys, I'll go to the other
Exactly. Exactly. That's how it works for me. I
first.
always
So,
look at like Valaverse, I always, I know I can get it from them or I
yep,
can get it from, because they're a little different model than what you see with like Four Horsemen and stuff. Like if
right.
you get it from Four Horsemen, you could save some change.
Yep,
Whereas with Valaverse, you're paying the same price whether you get it from them or Helidope.
that's
Me,
right.
I'm not one of those people that needs to urgently, review a figure or anything. So for me, I always funnel it through Helidope if I can. It just, it's a win-win for them. And Vala's getting his, everybody gets a little bit of theirs. So they're
Yep.
my first. They're
Yeah.
my first stop if I can.
Bobby's
for
still
sure.
getting his money, so it doesn't
Exactly.
matter, right? I mean, whether
Exactly. Good deal, man. So, where
we
we're
had
gonna
toy
go
pickups.
here?
Toy pickups.
I got some toy pickups. Speaking of Hella Dope and some of the more recent things that I got, I did get my
Ooh, Mega Man.
Mega Man Ice whatever Mega Man Iceman whatever it is there. It's pronounced ToyLeet, Adam, and it is toilet is where the junk toys go.
That's
So
right.
we haven't had any of those too much yet. That was my main pickup for this week, though I did place an order for something. I thought I had ordered the Ken from Street Fighter figures quite a while back. I messaged, my go-to, and they said, "Oh no, you didn't order it yet." And I was like, "Crap." So
Nice.
I waited till their show on Sunday night, and I placed an order for them to send me that toy. And I think I got shipping notice yesterday on that. So
I picked
I'll get that
this.
soon.
I picked this guy up at Walmart, who's $2.
Okay, are those like the 4-inch scale ones?
Yeah, he's 1/18 scale. So I picked him up
Yeah.
because he's. I figured he'd scale well with the Eagle
Yeah.
Force, which he does. But only bad thing about this guy would have been a possible toilet flush. The
Really?
arm, like the wrists don't turn, and if you bend the elbow a little bit too far, they'll pop right out of the socket. So I mean, for $2, I'd probably keep it on the shelf as opposed to flush it. But if I paid full price at $10 for it, I probably would have flushed it.
Yeah, I saw those in there, and like me, I'm a big articulation person, so I typically stay away. I do remember they had started having some of those smaller, 3 3/4 inch Marvel Legends back in the day, and I thought they were really cool. I liked them because again, world building and space. But and even DC had some cool ones, but they had limited articulation for sure.
Yeah, the funny part is that the Eagle Force is a little bit better articulated than these, but the articulation isn't bad. But like the way they, like the knees and the elbows and stuff are really, really like if you overextend them, they definitely pop out of joint. So
Gotcha.
Which considering it's supposed to be made for a kid, it's kind of built pretty cheap. So but for $2, like I said, it'll be a background character. I'm going to probably paint him up a little bit.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, as we were saying, right, we have the the normal segments. Shout out to the crick. We have the toilet or toilet, and then we also have the news and we have our main topic, right? So I think we have a little preview for tonight's main topic. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that up here.
All right, let's see.
Let's start with ToyLeet. Let's soar to a universe of toys and more. Spacebound Legos light the night. It's a wonderful and action-paced take flight. Adventure waits where stars align with ToyLeet. Every toy will shine. Toys in space, take flight. In the galactic playground bright. Join Mr. Wonderful action fix in this space race. With ToyLeet, with dreams embrace the cosmic race.
So that's our topic. We're going to be talking about action figures in space, right? So, that's going to be what we're going to talk on a little bit later.
That's right.
So looking forward to that. I know that you and I have talked a decent amount about that. Space toys are like one of the biggest influencers in toys. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along.
Especially nowadays, right? We got Cosmic is huge. So, I mean,
Yep. We got next month, right? May the force be with you. Speaking of,
even next month starts tomorrow, right? We're talking a few hours.
Yeah. So I still got to get that video done for Fuel the Schwartz. Speaking of our buddy over there, a member of the ToyLeet, a punk with toys, has partnered with
Allison, the Retro Toy Princess.
Yep. Allison, and they're doing their May the Force Be With You month. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I think they have a special tomorrow night that they'll be kicking off with the review of Power of the Force toys. They did ask us if we do something, and me and my history that Spaceballs is the original space thriller.
That's
so
right.
I'm going to be giving a review of one of the toys that that entire Star Wars genre is based off of from Spaceballs. So we'll most definitely be working on that. So with that said, I think my partner in crime here disappeared from me. Here he comes.
Oh, sorry. Somehow or other, I had an alarm set on my phone.
No, you're good, brother. You're good.
Real quick, let's give a shout out to the other half of the Hella Dope Toys boys. Ted Darklaw's listening in. He must be packing some boxes since he's
I got to do both hands
at the moment.
That's for you there, Ted. I know you can't see it. But yeah, so with that said, we have kind of the next segment, which is ToyLeet or ToyLeet. So are we flushing? Are we promoting it to the shelf? So today I'm going to take the point on this one, as I recently received Mr. Cody Rhodes, the Ultimate Edition. I missed out on the first one because I wasn't heavily a fan of Cody Rhodes, but I have become a huge fan of his over the last 6 to 8 months. So when they announced another Ultimate, I immediately signed up for it and ordered it. I received this probably about a little less than a week ago, busted it out, threw it up on the shelf. Really, really excited. He came with a jacket with the American Nightmare back on it. This is one of two heads here, screaming face. Very easily, you don't have to do any heating up or anything to swap parts and stuff. But he came with the coat arms, and he also came with some standard arms. Works out, goes right in. Hands came out with some separate hands. Did a really good job with all of that. The reason I'm taking his coat off is because, as a huge wrestling fan, I love this is where my toy collecting starts. And it'll probably end here. They did a great job with everything, except they dropped the ball with his tattoo. And don't get me wrong, he has the worst tattoo I've ever seen a wrestler get, for the most part. It's like the Mike Tyson tattoos for pro wrestlers. It's on his neck. And it's his American Nightmare family logo, the same thing that goes on his back. But unfortunately, when I'm talking Ultimate figures, I expect them to be the cream of the crop, the top. Unfortunately, on his basic head here, which is the one that he comes with, his tattoo extends onto his jawline, which is not how it works in real life.
Didn't they?
So it's really bad. And I've actually seen this not just on mine. I didn't see any reviews prior to ordering mine. So like, if you put the alternative head on, it kind of shows it up over his jaw, which it's not how it works in in real life.
It doesn't hit his face at all.
So guess what this one's gonna get? This one, I love the figure. It's got all the articulation I want, but they messed up on a tattoo. And to be honest, as ugly as the tattoo can be, it's a prime thing. So I'm going to dump this one in the toilet and give our first inaugural toilet figure is Cody Rhodes. I'm not going to actually dump him in the toilet, but I'm definitely looking for a future release, because this one definitely leaves something to be desired with the horrible paint app on his neck tattoo, which, a lot of people are immediately going to jump to and look at, because as horrible as it is, it's something a lot of wrestling fans look at and laugh at. Fortunately, I can put him right up on the shelf with his coat on, and you don't have to see it, but it was definitely disappointing. So
considering those figures are what, $25, right?
These ones are almost 40. They're like 35.
Almost 40, 35, yeah. For that price, they should have the tempo, right?
Yeah, and this one I went to Ringside Collectibles for, because I wanted to ensure that I got it in time. Because I figured it would be a very sought after one. And unfortunately, Hella Dope is definitely a supplier of wrestling action figures, and that's my first go-to. They don't always get their hands on every one of them, so they don't always pre-order them. So since it wasn't up for pre-order there, I went through Ringside for that one to ensure that I ended up getting it, because it was one that I really wanted, and I missed out on the Mattel Matty Collector exclusive one that they had done.
So who would have thought that your life being mostly dominated by wrestling, especially toys as a child through your adult life, that our first flush would be a wrestling figure. That's incredible.
That's what I was pretty shocked when I was deciding on it. I was like, because he's still going to make it up on my shelf, right? But
Yeah,
what I
for
mean
now.
by flush is he what exactly? Is it something that I wanted exactly as it should be? Did it meet all of the articulation? Did it meet the paint app? Did it have the look and expression? Did it match it? Yeah, it's got all of that except for that tattoo. And when you're being ToyLeet, it's really got to meet all of those factors. And
That's right.
at the end of the day, the price isn't a huge issue, but it's when it's supposed to be the ultimate. That's the cream of the crop WWE figures, and they mess up that stamp or that however they put that tattoo on there, it leaves something to be something to be desired. So I'll be keeping my eye out for a future release. He's like the face of the WWE right now, so I'm sure that's only the second one of many to come. He'll be like the John Cena, I'm assuming, in PAX moving over the next couple years.
Yep.
So likely replace that at some point with something with a better paint app. I have him for now. He's a placeholder for the future. As that said, he would be one of the first ones I sell if I get a replacement, because I want the correct paint apps and stuff on those. So not ToyLeet this time, bud. And yes, I mean, it makes sense, right? I'm a huge wrestling fan my whole life. Who's going to be most critical? What am I going to be most critical of? Is the wrestling, right?
Very true.
It kind of makes sense there. So yeah,
All
that's
right,
that's the ToyLeet or toilet. And this week we had our first turd, first stinker. Yep. We got to get a soundbite for that, and we'll get that here at some point. Before we jump into the slides, do you want to hit up the chat real quick?
Yeah, the only thing we got going on right now is Cobb jumped in. Too sweet.
Awesome.
And thanks for jumping in, Cobb. And then mostly just, Cobb says he needs that Cody for a Masterverse Duplico. Must be working on some kind of custom. I don't know.
That'll be interesting. I look forward to seeing that.
That's pretty much it. A lot of in talking, but that's most of the chat right there.
Awesome. Great. Thank you guys for the active participation. And that said, I think now, Ed, this is your point. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the shout out from the crick.
All right. Shout out from the crick for this week is, drum roll, Mr. Jim Largo at Largo's Lair. So I know when Luke and I were doing our show, we shouted out Largo and Will together, but we didn't shout out Largo by himself. So, so Jim does a lot of really, really cool shows on his own channel. A lot of times he does like the Infinite Playlist with Will, and he does the 1/8 team on Will's channel, which is 1/18th Focus. And those guys are really good together. But Jim also does a lot of shows like The Wolves Within and The Unhamlet and all these other things that he does by himself. His production value is amazing. And he's doing something near and dear to our hearts, which is going through toys that are in the Strong National Museum of Play in the Hall of Fame that they have there. So
yep.
And for anybody that doesn't know, Travis and I both live about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how you drive. That's right in the middle of the two of us. So
yeah, it's a good meetup spot. I'm sure you'll see some stuff in the future from there from the two of us. I just want to add a little bit here on Largo. I found Largo because he was doing some. I think he was in chats and stuff first, and then I started seeing people hype him up. And he might even been on the Helidope show when I first caught wind of him early on.
Jim was actually Helidope's very first chat participant.
Yeah, I remember them saying that. But I think I came across him and started seeing his review of the Valaverse figures, which is, we all know, I've talked about it before. My first foray into the independent toy line was through the Valaverse figures when I was looking for some things to add and fill out my G.I. Joe classified figures. So, I found his thing. He went through the lore of the book and started doing that, which was, he's got such
him and Will's AF3 line or shows are really good if you're into the Valaverse lore of the characters and stuff.
Yeah, no, so he did a good job with that. And then, one of the things I will say is, and I really want to champion him, is he and I talk a lot on Instagram, and I hope I'm not giving away any secrets here, but we share a lot of tips and tricks on, marketing. He knows that he's been very supportive of Hexastack, and he's done some video stuff for me that you guys will see coming here in the near future. And he and I have just chatted a bunch, offline and shared kind of, marketing approaches and such. So Jim's an awesome dude and, somebody who's got a wealth of knowledge and is always always willing to support and provide insight in ways you can continue to improve. So with
Like
that
I told
said,
you when we started this, right? I said if we got to figure out something with Canva, we'll just reach out to Jim because he's done a lot of the tricks, and he's not gatekeeping it. He's more than willing to share. So
exactly. Yeah. So Champion Largo, if you're not following him yet, go check his stuff out. He's in everybody's chats most of the time. But also he's got some great content of his own. So definitely go check that out and subscribe and support that. That said,
all right,
we're going to jump over here into our weekly news.
Real quick, let's say hi to Thanos. He just jumped in. What's up, Thanos?
Hey,
thanks for stopping in, brother.
Yeah, I think Nolan's in there too.
Yeah, I said hi to Nolan earlier.
I missed that. Sorry.
Yep, it's all right. Awesome. Nolan's here for sure. That means we're officially a Toy Tube because Nolan's
right.
Now, so.
Yeah, Nolan's in the chat. It means we're live.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yes, weekly news. What do we got this week?
This week,
reporting live from the field. Travis, what do you have?
Exactly. Hold on there. It's a mess in here. I still got to clean some stuff up. That said,
can you hear me?
Yeah, exactly. Real quick update on the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. We know that the Kickstarter backed. I think we saw Harley articulated in earlier. So I'm actually going to call out, as a person who backed the Kickstarter, tremendously, and supported that, Jason, Spiro, all those guys from, I'm not even trying to name the whole group of them, but, highly articulated back those guys, Eddie and, Derek. I know I'm going to miss somebody, so I apologize, but those guys are awesome. We saw an update. They're working on the backer kit right now. I'm not going to pretend to know when that backer kit's going to be live. I do know that they're working on it, so keep your eyes out for that. What I will say is, more importantly, there's another show tomorrow night that Highly Articulated is going to be walking through and having folks on. I don't know exactly who, but he's going to have his monkey talk, AWOC talk live, where they'll be talking about, the backer kit, explaining what it looks like and what to anticipate, maybe have updates on timelines for that. And then, obviously answer the tribe's questions. So if you're not following our buddy Adam over at Highly Articulated, check him out on Instagram and on YouTube. He's got a great show. If you want to dive into the AWOC lore as much as I do most days, he's definitely, him and Brick have some great content out there. So go check them out.
Him and Brick doing a monkey talk every, I wouldn't say every week, but it's close. It's every month at least, depending on what's going on. They just got done with their big worldwide tour.
Exactly. So, tour to AWOC Wave Series 2. Cool. So going from there, going to just touch on Galactic Valor real quick. So we last talked. This one was about 80%, 85%, somewhere in that range of funding. And we had about, a day left or so when we were wrapping up last week. Weren't sure if it was going to push over, but as we've said, history suggests that if you can get into that range, that last day can be a big push and push you over the edge, especially if you're right on the cusp of it. That said, we know it funded now. They hit about $85,000, almost $86,000 of their $80,000 goal. I don't know all the details on this one, as I wasn't as close to it. Wasn't as near and dear. I was heavily in
unfortunately, the unlocks that they had planned were pretty cool. But I'm happy that this one actually got done, because the guy that's running this Fox Forge has said that, the rest of it will get made. It was just,
cool.
So now that these are going to get produced, they'll probably get the other things that were stretch goals produced anyway.
Awesome.
But it'll be down the line farther, probably.
Good deal. Yeah. Yep. So this one should be coming. Should see some more. I'll likely pick up something if I see a backer kit or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I kind of want this guy in the middle here. He looks a little interesting, and the guy at the end. So one of those two I would likely pick up. My little guy.
I'm definitely going to grab one or two of those, depending on, I'll probably grab one to see how the articulation is and the quality and stuff, and then if they're cool, I'll grab another one or two of them. If they're great for aliens and just background characters.
Well, the topic of the night, right? Toys in space, right? That's so right. This would very much so be something that we would discuss in more detail if this was already out. My son, son of wonder, as we refer to him, thanks to the great Largo, he would make me get this blue one because blue is his undying favorite color. So we'd be stuck with that one. So I'd best be ordering the one I prefer if I'm going to order one myself. And not let him see. But yes, that's Galactic Valor. Look forward to keeping stuff. It looks like I see Toy Dom ordered one.
He said he backed
I'm interested
him,
to see that. Yeah, that'll be cool. That said, the next one, which is one of my favorites, I'm going to be talking about. A lot of jealousy on this one right here for me. there's been a lot of animosity. It's been very difficult to message people and ask them if I could show some of their photos here, because I have to ask people to have access to the toys that I am thriving
No.
for, that I'm like, I need.
First of all, have you seen the box that the special ones were shipped in? That
Yeah,
thing
man,
was
I
just
want that
plain
box.
awesome. That was just plain awesome. Savage Crucible has to be one of the best marketed Kickstarter campaigns I've ever seen. Like, they sent out those initial like decoder discs, and then they did the coins, and then they sent these out with that really awesome box. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Toy Dom in here saying he backed that. Yeah, me too, buddy. I backed all in on
He's
all 3
4
waves,
now. Yeah.
and I double backed the first wave. So I'm waiting on the first wave. So as I see all of you guys opening this wonderful magic plastic, I'm like, come on, guys! Like, I'm just waiting for this stuff. But definitely very excited to get those in hand. With that said, I'm just going to show off some pictures and kind of highlight. So there's a bunch of folks out there who I don't know. I'm assuming because they have a big enough network, they were targeted. Some of them may have backed the Kickstarter, and in some cases, I think some people have suggested in their streams that they had won some decodering contest, so they may have received it as a kind of an advanced review. They were all provided different figures, which I thought was cool. Like, not all of them, but they were all given, like, there was various ones. Not everybody got the same figure. Which was cool. And, they were all told, hey, review it if you want, be honest. We don't have to see it beforehand, or don't do anything at all. And, thanks for the support. So I thought that was really cool. And I got a couple pictures here I'll be showing. So we have a couple pictures I snagged from the Collecting Brothers over on Instagram. So I have all of their links in the screen here. You can see that. Additionally, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'll add them to the video and edit the description, so you can go ahead and click on their Instagrams and check their stuff out. Everyone I've reached out to, they've done an awesome job. I'm extremely jealous. These guys are like on my friends list, but it's more like frenemies, because they're all holding on to the plastic that I'm so eagerly awaiting. I know mine's coming, so I'm not stressed, but definitely seeing this stuff is just making the anticipation build. So
I know I had to send you a box of Kleenex the other night. How everybody else got their toys and you didn't get yours, and it was
I know. It's like
sad.
It's like if I was like having Christmas, but my Christmas wasn't going to be till Saturday, and everybody got to have their Christmas on Monday.
I know.
It's like, that's not fair. So we got these ones.
Real quick,
more
Ted.
Here.
Ted is actually in the chat now, so welcome, Ted. Thanks
awesome.
for popping in.
Thanks, dude. We got, and I'm going to try to pronounce this, but it's Chuti MI91. He was one of the first videos I saw, I think, or one of the first photos that I came across on Instagram. Thought it was really cool. Love how you can see that, like, both these arms are crossed there. So awesome photography, and he got an advanced copy of these ones. I love those weapons too, like the glowing coloring, just so badass. And if you look at these videos and stuff, the scale and the skin texture is so awesome. We got a couple more pictures here from Toy Domination, guy in the chat.
Real quick, hold on. Shoot just popped in. Looks like
awesome.
It's like shoot me. So shoot me 91. Okay, good to know.
Oh, I like that. Cool. Okay, shoot me 91. Awesome. That's cool, man. Thank you so much. And he was really cool. I reached out to all these guys to ask to use some of their images, because, again, unfortunately, this schmuck didn't get anything. So
I really like the head on this guy. This guy's head is amazing.
Looks so good.
Yeah.
And Toy Dom did an awesome review. So if you go check out his stuff, his was cool. He talks about, some of the packaging, some of the stuff that was in the packaging. He also, let his son get like first view, opinions and stuff. And from what I hear is that these are, oh, shut up, Aaron. You're gonna wait 6 more weeks for your package, buddy. 6 more weeks.
Aaron's gonna have to have you on his toy therapy just to help you get through this time of strife in your life.
Exactly, brother. But yeah, Toy Dom has some really cool photos, and I snagged some of these from the video, and check it out. Again, each one of these folks either has videos or pictures. So check out their Instagram, get their links to their YouTube.
Yeah, we'll definitely put their links in the descriptions after the show's over.
And then
to their Instagrams and YouTubes that they have them.
Last but not least, I've got Figure Fix here. He was actually, I think, maybe the second or first or second person I saw get these. Really cool. He's showing some dynamic poses and stuff here with the guy jump kicking something.
Yeah, that jump kick picture's pretty sweet.
Yeah, man, it looks so cool. He doesn't have bandwidth for that session. Yeah, I don't have enough tissue for it either, Aaron. Yeah, that toy, the review was awesome, man. I loved it, Dom. That was cool, dude. I love how you interacted with the kids and had them in there. I'm still trying to get my son of wonder to involved in some of my stuff, but the best I can do is get him to go to toy stores with me to buy stuff, and he'll do that any chance I get.
I couldn't get Luke to do anything as far as that until he was 18, dude. So
Yeah.
you know. And then he never wanted to show his face after the first couple episodes. So.
Awesome. So that's it for Savage Crucible. These things are going to be freaking awesome.
Oh,
I've
these
seen
things
them.
are gorgeous.
Anyone who didn't back these, get out there. I think you got a couple more days left to pre-order stuff on the direct from Savage Crucible.
Yeah, I wish I could.
I believe, between you and I almost went on and ordered a couple more, but I'm like on the fence. Do I need 4 more of the not slates, but the next tier? Because they have, like, the really cool thing is they have their basic slates, which are like an army builder that's just blank.
Yes, you need to order some for your friend Ed. Ed can't order anything right at this moment.
Awesome. Yeah.
You can tell your wife that's the reason, right? I got to get this.
Yeah. She'll kill me. It's gonna get brutal if that. I mean, this is perfect. It's gonna get brutal if I do that. So, I wanted to give an update on the brutal realm line here. They recently posted something, I think in the last day or so. So, a couple things here. I've had some conversations in Instagram with the creators of this, like in a public forum, just asking, because Ed, I've said, hey, the bodies look a little bulky for me.
Yep.
Again, I wanted to confirm, hey, is this just like an upscaled version that's going to be like trimmed down a little bit? And it's been confirmed that they're going to be these bulking monsters of mass. So it'll be interesting to see what they come. I will likely back because I like some of the head sculpts. The bodies I'm still on the fence about. Wait till you see it in hand. Yeah. But the reason I wanted to bring them up this week is because, one, I confirmed the bulkiness, but two, they recently posted these images online on their Instagram and shared them. There's a vote going on currently as they get ready to launch their Kickstarter. They've posed the question to see if anyone was interested in this, what they refer to kind of as a furry buck, where it's the same kind of mass of the bucks they already have, but instead of just being kind of flesh, it would have like this fur like creature, which I thought was interesting because I feel like I've seen some stuff like this. And there's the one tuber who has his own line coming out soon. I can't think of what his name is off the top of my head. I can't think of his name. I'm sure somebody in the chat knows, but he's got like a Sasquatch coming out soon.
Oh, that's Odious. That's
Odious. Thank you.
Unparalleled Universe. Yeah, I got one of those coming.
Yeah, so you got that. So I'm kind of like, that's what it makes me think of. They mentioned something in their comments about a lion lord or something, and the idea is that the vote would be between this kind of furry buck or getting a female buck, beforehand as part of the Kickstarter. I assume as some sort of tiered unlock approach. So
Thanos said he voted for the ladies, so
that doesn't surprise me, Thanos.
Nope,
not at all. Not at all, dude.
So this is kind of interesting, and I'm looking at this body, and I can't really see it because the pictures, it's not big enough, but I can see the fur around the wrist and on the calves. Is the rest of the body got like small fur on it, or is it?
So all across the chest and back and legs, and like basically the rest of the body, other than the crotch area, it has like a furry.
So it's sculpted like an AWOC.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. It's very much sculpted like an AWOC.
Okay.
A little bit different detail, but yes, that would be the concept.
What's up, War Chest?
Awesome. So that's the Brutal Realm news. Which will
so
then
the thing
take
with the
us...
Brutal Realm is I'm really interested in it because, like you said, I like some of the way some of the characters look and some of the head sculpts, and some of them are just too blocky, and then they all are definitely massive. But it's going to be interesting to see because that mass, depending on how tall they are and what kind of what they look like, because like some of those orcs that Thanos and Brick get, right? They're massive, but they don't look bad. Like the Minotaurs from 5K Toys, right? They don't look bad because they're bigger figures. So it's going to be interesting to see how they actually look once they're actually done, right?
Yeah. Oh man, War Chest, take it easy out there. I don't know where you are, but I know Nebraska got hit last week. So if you're anywhere in that realm, brother, take it easy, get shelter, and be safe.
I was watching that video. It was a trucker or somebody in a car driving by a truck, something. But
they
come up over that knoll, and the tornado was like go right across in front of them. It was like, holy!
Just across the whole like interstate into the city or whatever, and they're just the whole time. Yeah, I saw that. Hey, it's Punk.
Hey,
don't worry, guys.
Dickheads.
he's funding this show completely out of his YouTube account.
That's right.
We appreciate you, Punk. Thank you for coming in and
People that come
sponsoring
into these
everything.
shows with this kind of hostility, though, it's just because they have a small penis. So
I just don't understand why a Punk with Toys doesn't just reach out to all these really cool Kickstarters and just offer to back them himself. Like
right.
at this point,
I
he's
privately fund them, right? They don't even need to
Yeah.
do a Kickstarter then.
exactly.
Have
you
an
know.
angel investor.
Angel investor. Yeah, nobody's ever put Punk and Angel in the same
That's
sentence
true.
before. So, hey, Lawrence. So yeah, I'm interested in these.
War Chest says he's going to grab his Mondo figs and head down to the basement. Good call, man.
Yes,
Good call.
That's a good move, man. Good move.
Got to have your ditty bag on the ready to go.
Yeah, most people's bug out bag consists of survival things.
Yeah.
Us toy collectors are like, nope, let's grab the important stuff.
Throw the bagos in.
Exactly.
Mess goes in. Yeah.
Yep. So that's the Brutal Realm. Looking forward to that. We'll see what comes from those. Definitely I'll be keeping my eye out those. You guys will hear here for sure on the upcoming shows where that stands. Once
I'm really interested to see like
it.
when they actually, I mean, I know they showed like a couple of like resin castings or whatever the hell they were.
Yeah.
The
first, the 3D printed stuff, right? Like kind of their 3D prints.
Stuff,
yeah. It'll be interesting because some of the stuff's weird in the shoulder stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see some more detailed you know, paint app.
And really once they get them made and like standing next to an AWOC or you know, a Valaverse figure.
I want to see him next to Savage Crucible. I want to see how they're gonna man up.
Mythic Legions, those
He-Man.
So yep.
Yeah. So the next one is we've got the Valaverse. So there's a couple things that came out last week. I didn't grab any of the screenshots of the screenshots, but I did cover the things that I saw most recently on their Instagram, which, you know, they showed the file card for the Reaper. You know, you've got the one that's going to be on the beige or brown desert Vanguard, and then you have the SWAT looking Vanguard, and they have the they both come with a special Reaper figure. Each one just colored a little different. It's a variant color, army builder type. And then you have their boss, right? The cigar smoking, I don't remember what his name is, but you see like a paymaster. Yeah. And in the background you can see I forget what his name is.
Atlas.
No, on the ground in the back behind him is
or is it the samurai dude?
No, that's not the samurai. It's a different one. Shorts. I can't remember what it's called. It starts with an S, but it is the first time I had seen it was on Saturday when he did his show for to 100. So I know the next 100 item is going to be announced soon. But I like this guy. This guy's cool looking to me. He's got like that ruggedness to him. Kind of makes me think of there's a certain actor that I've kind of like in my mind casted as that character. He plays in the Avatar movies and a few other things too.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about. Yep, that guy.
So kind of like that's what I picture him as. So I'll definitely be picking.
I told Punk earlier that head reminds me of John Bernthal from The Punisher.
Oh, like an older kind of
like if he had gray hair.
Yeah. No, I can see that for sure. Yeah, he was in The Walking Dead too, right? The same guy.
Yep. Same guy.
Yeah, I can see that. So these are coming. Keep your eye out. I know that he's been announcing that the pre-orders will be.
Yeah, I think they're going to go up and be showed at the DFW show when he's there. So
yeah, he has a bunch of stuff coming there. These look cool. I'm excited. And the Atlas figure, he did preview some of that stuff and some of that. I'm excited to see how that Atlas figure comes out. He looked cool. Looks like he's gonna be a badass for sure. So that's that covers us on the news.
All right.
I think.
So real quick, let's pop through the chat real quick. Fat Red Foo is here.
Yeah.
What's up, brother? He turned in just in time to see Naked Bucks. Perfect.
Oh, that's perfect. Naked Hairy Bucks.
Yeah. And War Chest says, I will not eat my storm snacks. I will not eat my storm snacks.
That's awesome.
Oh, cool. That's must have been in regard to something else.
Yep.
Cobb here. Cobb just said that he heard that Elon Musk contacted Lawrence asking if he could get a loan.
Rumor has it. I mean, we are in the weekly news and it is toy related. There is rumor that a Punk with Toys may be funding the purchase of Instagram to make it a toy exclusive social network. That's what I'm hearing.
All right,
So,
I like that idea.
I mean, we'll see. He says he'll tell you sometime during his 3-hour, 45-minute talking fest on Monday night next week. So tune in as he puts toy tubers on blast. So he says. No
Yeah,
coverage.
So he
of
throws some more clickbait.
I'm not sure what Thanos is talking about here. It's either over my head or I'm totally missing this.
Of the Lucia from Snail Show. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. I'm not sure on that one. But that said, I think we're going to go into the main topic here.
I don't know what that is.
Blast off with ToyLeet, let's soar to a universe of toys and more. Space-bound Legos light the night. It's a wonderful and action things take flight. Adventure waits where stars along with ToyLeet. Every toy will shine. Toys in space, take flight. In the galactic playground ride. Join Mr. Wonderful action fix in this space race. With ToyLeet, where dreams embrace the cosmic race.
So that's the topic. This is our main topic here: toys in space, from action figures to Legos.
Look at
So
that.
I'm
We're
gonna
only
let
45 minutes in and we got to our topic, punk.
I know. That's how you do it, punk.
That's
Get to
right.
the point, brother.
Quit rambling.
But hey, who are we to speak?
Oh, I know.
He's the
Mr.
multi-millionaire. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mr. YouTube, a punk with toys.
Mr. 4,000 plus. Man,
Mr. 4K. I can't wait. When he gets to 5K, we're all screwed. It's gonna be it's gonna be Thanos and the Gauntlet, man.
We're just gonna have to go out and like pay people to sub to us and beat him to 5,000.
His isn't that what Punk with Toys' best friend did?
Yeah, but
put somewhere on an island. Somewhere on an island. That's what I heard.
We'll do it covertly, like pay individual people that are real to do it. Like, give them $1 for a sub.
Exactly. Awesome. So Ed, toys in space.
Toys in space.
We know action figures, Legos, we'll talk as we go through some of the slides here. Space, it's an abstract thing for, the majority of people in the world. Nobody, majority of people aren't going to get out there. So it's this opportunity to kind of explore a world of the unknown that we don't get the chance to do, day to day. Right. Yeah. So when we talk about toys, it's always that adventure into the unknown and making your own history and stories and whatnot. And, space kind of holds like a really a really strong place in a toy world, especially when you're thinking Star Wars and with the May the 4th be, May the 4th be with you coming up and whatnot. It seems like it makes sense to talk about toys in space because really, toys were always toys, but when Star Wars came out, it really changed, at least from my perspective and what I remember. And again, that was before I was live, but I always, when I hear the stories and stuff, when Star Wars decided to knock off Spaceballs and come out with their own toy line, it really spun things, So toys in space, Star Wars, and all this other stuff.
Space toys. I mean, I think the thing about space and its hold on pop culture, whether that's TV, media, movies, stories, action figures. I think the thing with that is that really space is unexplored, right? We only know a little bit about the space other than looking at it through a telescope. Right. It's not like a Western. It's not like a military where there's some rooted reality to it, right? We know space exists, but we don't know really what's out there. We couldn't tell you anyway, right? So I think that leaves so much of a, opening for the imagination that space toys are just where it's at. And like you said, once Star Wars hit, space toys, every company was doing space toys after that,
Sorry, I was gonna say something and I just saw that message and I can picture the shortest guy in the room saying that out loud to everyone. He's not trying to big time anybody yet. Yeah. Sorry. No, but you're saying, right? I think you're right? And I think that's what we're alluding to is space, right? It's a creative canvas that even though we know things about it, there's so much unknown. You could do anything you want out there.
Yep.
So that's what makes the movies and all of the genre across space all the way down to the toys so interesting to so many, and really allows you to have limitless approaches in the IPs. And it could be as simple as action figure NASA, or figures like you have on screen here. And if you want to talk about this one a little bit, Ed, I'll let you do that.
Yeah, so this is Major Matt Mason, who was created by Mattel in like 1969, I think is when he actually hit Toy Fair. He was only around for a couple of years. The bodies, funny enough, were actually just like the Bendies. So they were just a rubber body with wire in them, and they had a plastic sculpted head and a plastic sculpted helmets. And there was, I want to say 4 or 5 actual astronauts, but they came out with some really cool play sets for these guys. A couple of, they had this thing called the Spacewalker, and it was basically just a battery powered thing. They had these big like wheels on it that just, drug along. And they had this huge space station toy, which I think is in the other picture, the next one of the same thing. But yeah, Major Matt Mason was really cool. All the figures had these little like space glider things that they could ride on. They just stood up, and then they had some robots and stuff like that. But you can see in the back, like that's just the vehicles. I think this line was only out for like 2 years, and this is how much stuff they actually came out with.
That's pretty cool to have all of those. Like,
yeah,
I imagine like that would be, for that world building aspect, that'd have been really cool back then. And
yeah, they were probably 4 inches tall, 5 inches tall at the most. I have an uncle that's actually a huge Matt Mason fan, because he was probably 8 or 9 in 1969 when this was really popular. So it's he collects them to this day, but they're hard to come by because like I said, the bodies are rubber. A lot of the times the rubber's picking them up, poking out and everything else. So
probably deteriorated and stuff,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, all of it. The actual toys themselves, like the spaceships and stuff, are fine, but the figures are hard to come by. Mattel actually tried to. They did a re-release, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, with Major Matt Mason, Big Jim, and one other character, but they did them all in like a 5-inch, basic body. They were all the same figure, painted differently just as a representation of those old figures.
Gotcha.
Real quick, we got Wraith Mace. Oh, sorry, I was going to bring up Wraith. What's up, Wraith? And then greetings, Mr. Largo.
The shout out from the Crick went to Largo. Largo,
That's
I know
right.
you're a few minutes late, but we were shouting you out. We got the man of the hour in here. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to grab that on you, Ed. I wasn't sure if you saw it when you were reading on the screen there. So yeah, thanks.
So yeah, that's Major Matt Mason. That was done by Mattel back in the 60s. A lot of these things, it was right at that time when G.I. Joe was popular, and the original G.I. Joe, and Captain Action and all those guys were starting to get into that thing. So yeah, really cool line. Like I said, the vehicles and the playsets were amazing for this line.
Yeah, no, those are cool looking. It's definitely something that I imagine a young Mr. Wonderful would have been interested back in the day. Especially with the world building aspect, spaceships, rovers, all that stuff. So for me, the next one kind of touches close to home, and I just pulled this up as a reference to it with Lego Space, right? Because for me, like the first Legos that weren't just me using a couple blocks together, and really the first toys that I played with would have been along the lines of these Legos. And I remember some space Legos from the early 80s. It was that and the Robin Hood like ones that I remember, medieval ones that I remember from when I was a youth. But the Lego ones kind of stand out to me because they had the rovers and all of this space kind of atmosphere. I remember, being relatively, not having a lot of money, and my parents, and being at the laundromat and being bored out of my mind. And I don't even know if this is a thing normally, but they have little Lego packs in like these little machines that, you put a couple dollars of coins in, and you get like it must not have been much more than a 15-piece set, but I would get these sets when we do the laundry at the laundromat, and I'd get these space Legos that I can build little rovers. It was like little 4-wheelers and stuff back then, but
little moon cruisers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. Moon cruisers would be the term for it. But yeah, like this makes me think of like my first experience into space toys and stuff, because again, remember, I knew about Spaceballs. I didn't know Star Wars was a thing until the late 90s, which, believe it or not, I didn't know that was a toy. Somehow I completely missed it. And that's probably because I was watching the Hulk and the Ultimate Warrior and all those guys. It was my focus. So, for me, this was cool because I did, the imaginative play with Legos and space, and, they went on forever. And
when I was a kid, Legos were just blocks. You had rectangles and squares and some flat pieces. And then they came out with wheels, which, totally changed the game, right? But then eventually they came out with like the space sets, and like you said, they had the medieval ones. I think they had some pirate sets or
Yep.
something like
Oh
that.
yeah, pirates,
Yeah.
medieval stuff, and the space is what I
Yep.
remember. And
Yep.
my cousin was heavily into the castle medieval stuff as a kid. He had everything, but I remembered having the space stuff, and I had a few of the different ones. And the neighbor behind me in the apartment building, I remember he was a few years older than me. It was his birthday, and he got some massive, must have been a 2,000 piece Lego set, one of the space ones in the early 90s. I must have been. And I remember playing with those probably right around 92 when
The
this
thing
kind
that's
of journey
baffling
was.
now, though, is like when I think about, I didn't really have a lot of Legos as a kid. I had several sets, but not very many, But I remember I had some friends that had, just huge like storage totes full of just Lego, right? And now you go to like the store and one set's $60, $100, $200, right? It's like,
All
holy
that
shit.
IP.
Yep.
It's because they're not using their own IPs, and they're using
Yeah.
IPs that they got from
Yeah, but
DC
even
or
like the Lego
Marvel.
City ones are still pretty expensive. They have like
Well,
the Lego City and the Lego whatever, right? Those are still pretty expensive.
that all goes to what I think they refer to as that. There's a term for it in the industry when it's like comparable, pricing, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's that feel, because it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
matter whether it's Marvel or Hasbro does it with the
Oh, for
Legends
sure.
versus like
Yep.
the Joes, right?
Yep.
You're paying the
Exactly.
same price point regardless, even though they pay a massive IP charge to Marvel. So you're
Yep.
seeing that logos and everything. So yeah. Dude, when was WrestleMania 3? Was that when I was 3 years old, Punk? I'm sorry you were 40 at that point and growing a beard's, and your dad took you on his shoulders there,
Yeah.
but
What year was
hey,
WrestleMania 3?
it would have been 87 because this was 40.
Oh, I'd like to
Ted
see
has
that
his own
sometime.
Lego Cityverse. That I'm interested in.
Yeah, I'd
We're
like to
gonna
see that sometime.
I want to
We'll
see
have
a
to, we'll have
walkthrough
to get Ted to do a walkthrough for us.
for sure.
So 87. So how old were you in 87?
I was 3. Actually, I wouldn't have been 3 yet. I would have been 2.5 when Mania had. Yes. I wasn't shitting myself at the Detroit Stadium or wherever it was to see Andre get body slammed. No, I wasn't able to see that in
Well,
person.
I was 87. I would have been 14, but so I mean, I definitely wasn't going to fucking Detroit. I can tell you that much.
No, not at all. I was lucky I was making it out of the town I was in. So
Yep.
yeah, full of excuses for sure.
Absolutely.
But the next one here, I think you can give a little bit more on it. Is the
Yeah.
construct
So Fisher Price Constructs. These were kind of like Legos, right? All the pieces went together. So you had these little like straight pieces and angled pieces and all that, and then you had these connectors, and you could build a lot of different things. But after Star Wars, this came out in like 1980, 82, I want to say. So it was
Okay.
after Empire Strikes Back, right around the time Jedi was coming out, and they came out with these Fisher Price Constructs, which are really cool. They had like construction vehicles before this, but then when space, of course, took off, they came out with these. It had glow in the dark pieces. They had like a NASA, and then they also made black sets that had little alien pilots and stuff that were really
Okay.
cool. But they all glowed in the dark. So you had like green glow in the dark, and you had purple glow in the dark. It was really cool, concept. And of course, they gave you the kit, right? But then you could just build whatever the hell you wanted to with it, right? So I mean,
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. So I'm not as familiar with that. The next one I'm a little bit more familiar with. A little bit more modern, I guess, is what we would say, and that is some Four Horsemen, Cosmic Legions, right?
oh
So
yeah,
we're talking stuff way back in the 60s with the first one, some stuff right in the 80s or so
Yep.
with the last two, and even into the 90s. And we're talking stuff that just came out in the last 24 months here.
Yep.
With some Four Horsemen. And we got a slide we're going to show after this, I think, which
Yep.
is what this is originally from, if you want to kind of talk about that.
yeah. So this is basically using the same buck as several of the other Cosmic Legions that have come out. I just
Is it the
totally
Tough
lost
or the
it.
Tur or something like that? I
Yeah,
always forget what it's called.
Thygar is
Yeah.
the one guy who has a similar buck to this, but they made this guy and they named him Pfizer. It's like P. Pfizer Rice, right? But the reason they named him this is because this guy's actually, like some of the Cosmic and Mythics have been homages to Motu and stuff like that. This guy's actually an homage to this old Fisher Price Adventure People space alien from the I can't remember the name of the set, but the Turbo Hawk is what it was called.
Okay.
So this guy came in a kit with a little like space glider type of vehicle, you know, a little one-person spacecraft thing that had wheels on it so you could roll it on your own kitchen floor. And this guy's paint job is exactly like the guy that they named Pfizer Rice, which of course, if you look at it, it says Fisher Price, right? So that's why.
I didn't pick up on that. That is awesome. That was like
Yeah.
so over my head.
Yep.
Sorry.
So
That's awesome. I totally didn't pick up on that. You had to really walk me through that one. That's
yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, Largo definitely. So I've already started on making that space vehicle for him out of foam that it comes with.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And he's not for sale yet, right? He's like
He's a pre-order. He's in that.
He's a pre-order.
He's in the on the retailer wave.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So hold on. Let me bring this up so you can actually see this. We'll just take a second to do this real quick.
Am I going to stop sharing?
Yeah, I got to share something. So let me just share this real quick. Oops. I got to open this up still. See if this lets me do it. It won't let me share my screen. I do not know why.
Do you want to send me the link in the private chat and I'll open it?
I think, yeah, let me send it to you. It's not a link. It's actually a picture I had on my computer. So let me see if I can find it real quick. Go ahead and go to the next slide though.
Yeah. No, it's just, so let me get back to here and share. Okay. So the next one here, you want to talk about this one real quick, Ed? I know it's another one of the space ones that you had loaded on here.
Yep. 1 second.
Yep.
Oh, I can't find it, but I'll find it for you later.
That's fine.
This is one of the Fisher Price Adventure People. This is called the Alpha Probe. So this is actually, I still have mine from as a kid. The only thing I don't have is this little white thing.
The tentacle that hangs.
It's a tether. It's a tether thing, so you can actually like the guys connected to the actual tank. Mine still works. Don't have a functioning 9-volt battery, but you got 3 little buttons back here. It made the lights go off. It made like a rocket sound, and then like just like a space like pulsing sound with the lights. This little cockpit came out, or little probe ship came out, and then you could pop these jet rockets off the back, and you could put them onto this, so you can make like a little bit of a quicker ship. It came with a male astronaut and a female astronaut. It was one of the coolest things as far as a toy goes, because you could actually stand it up, and it would stand like you know how they like when you're launching a rocket. So yeah, this came out from 1980 to 1983. This is when Fisher Price really got into the space thing after Star Wars became really super popular. So
good deal. Yeah. So this is you saying this is kind of like right around that same time?
Yep, it's right after Star Wars got popular. This is when this came out.
Speaking of Star Wars, this one I know about. It's that knockoff for Spaceballs. So yeah, with this you have you know, it's still very involved. It's still very current, right? Like Toys in Space, right? I mean, there's entire sections within, you know, all of the retail spaces, you know, that sell action figures that have, you know, Star Wars Black Series, and you know, it's still very relevant today, even beyond, you know, what happened 30, 40 years ago now. They're releasing stuff, you know, Hasbro still, you know, generates a ton of these, you know, repaints and such across the board. I mean, I think we saw some Christmas ones recently for Stormtroopers and stuff. But you know, the Toys in Space, it's a theme that I don't think ever goes away. You know, you also have one going as far back as you know, some of the I think 1/6 scale GI Joes with the Adventure Joes, right?
Yep.
And there was a spaceman there.
Yeah, this was a really cool thing because this cockpit, you know, this thing is huge. I used to have one of these. I ended up selling it when I got divorced, but the inside of it actually glowed. So when you put your figure in there, you could like the cockpit inside would glow. And this came like with a little, as you could see, you know, orange strip. This is a cool set. The only bad thing is that this suit actually had foil on it. So over time, of course, from 69 till now, right? They've all kind of deteriorated. So
Yeah.
so let me try
That's-
sharing that screen again real quick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's try this now. So this is what, can you see that?
It's coming up right now. Oh, okay, so the full body of.
Yeah, that's what he
Okay.
came. That's how he looked, right? So
Okay.
that's why that guy is Pfizer Rice or whatever.
Gotcha.
And then he came with this. He actually came with this little space glider thing. So
Okay, so like the thing right behind him.
yeah, the thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could sit him in that. There was a couple different versions. One was black with silver highlights, and one was silver or gray with the black highlights. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
so it's green head guy. So yeah, they did. This is
They
actually
did
what
really cool.
Yeah, this is actually what all the male astronauts look like for Fisher Price. They just
Okay.
painted the head differently, gave them a little bit different, suit color. So
Paint apps or whatever.
yeah,
That's cool. I like
Yeah.
I like what the Horseman did with that. That's really,
Yeah.
obviously I don't have the same tie-in myself.
Yep.
But for those that, happen to be, followers of things like that, from, previous generation or
yeah.
whatever,
Yep.
to then be able to pick up your Cosmic Legions with all that modern,
Yeah.
articulation,
It's cool
and you
because,
got the little throwback.
with it's hard to do, like they do a lot of Motu homages, right?
Yep.
With their figures. It's hard to do that with the Mythic Legions for the adventure people, right? So
Yeah.
now that they got Cosmic, they can do some of those things, right? Maybe we'll see some kind of Lego space homage, in the future.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point, right? I mean, I think it's probably a little bit harder with the mythic side just because of the fact that, like you said, it's just a little bit more difficult to get creative in that sense, I think, because they'd be infringing on like those other IPs a lot of times to
Yeah.
get it anywhere near, because it would be like Conan or something
Right.
like
Yep,
or Hercules, right? They got to be very careful. But with the space stuff, they can still like spin it so it's drastically different and then use something
Oh,
to
yeah.
paying homage to a legacy figure, which is really
Yep.
cool. So, the toys and space stuff, it's seen throughout all of our toys, right? Um, video games, all of our movies and modern, like modern movies, even the toy lines, some of my favorite more recent toy lines that wouldn't necessarily have the word space in it or necessarily make you think cosmic, but like the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, right? Like
Yeah.
if you follow the lore of that, you recognize that it is all space bound, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's-
even if you take into like, something that is, has influenced AWOC, even Planet of the Apes starts basically
Yeah.
in space, right?
Yep.
Now, granted, they travel back to Earth through a time warp, but I mean, the whole point of it is they're traveling in space, astronauts, and they land on planet Earth millions of years in the future.
Yeah. No, I think it's great, and I thought it was a cool topic with May coming up and being so Star Wars centric, and with a Punk with Toys and Allison Troy doing their shows together, and then everyone in the community kind of partaking in that Power of the Force review or a Fuel the Schwartz, as I will be doing. So I thought it kind of tied in really good and kind of kick us off tomorrow with all of that. So looking forward to seeing more space themed Power of the Force content.
Let's do the time warp again. Absolutely.
So that said, that kind of covers us on our main topic this week, but it leads us to our topic for next week, which is movie merch.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
So how films, TV influence toys, right? So we kind of talked about space, and it kind of parlays into some of the stuff we'll be talking next week. Star Wars having all of their merchandise and all of that. So I think
Star Wars actually, really kicked off the whole movie merchandise tie-in thing. I mean, there was, Mego in the 70s and Captain Action that had some superhero tie-ins, but that was really directed towards mostly the comic books. When Lucas took over and launched Star Wars, I mean, he created a whole merchandise thing. That's why in your, what they ripped Star Wars off of, that's why Yogurt has his shop, because, he was making fun of Lucas trying to steal from him.
Exactly. That's what that was about.
Yeah.
It was those guys at the street, trying to sell tickets to the concert later that night, because it was just, hustling and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But so it'll be interesting to talk about how films and TV influence toys and vice versa, really, right? Because thinking back to all of the rules and regulations on how much Saturday morning cartoons had to be in G.I. Joe, like I always hear about it, it had to be very specific in how they produced and published publicized their commercials for toys
Yeah.
because it couldn't just be a 30-minute
Commercial.
constant flush of toys commercials to the kids. So movies and TVs, they influence
G.I.
toys,
Joe
right?
definitely took the whole commercialization part that Lucas started and really brought it to shoved it down all of our kids' throats in the late 70s and 80s. So I mean,
I was fine with it. I love toys. So I mean,
yeah.
that's why I'm sitting here today. If it wasn't for all of that
Yep.
crap, I wouldn't be doing this and talking about my plastic passions.
So let's ask the chat real quick if anybody wants to pop up any their favorite space toys that we might not have talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to. Maybe there's something I haven't seen. And, I mean, most of the stuff that you showed me, I hadn't really seen much of. So, obviously that's why you were able to speak to it better than me. And, Largo has a good point right here. I think this is a good one. Not so much, at least. So I don't remember. I played the first Fallout game back on the PC. I think that was still Earth-based, if I remember. And it was just like a post-apocalyptic world. But if he's tying that into next week's movie merch and IP stuff, the movie TV stuff, absolutely. Yeah, that Fallout merchandise I think could be very interesting.
I haven't seen the show yet, but I definitely
I haven't either. It's on my to-do to watch. I've not been watching it, but it's one that I will pick up on here in the near future. But yeah, I think that's a good one because a lot of things you hear and I think we are in an interesting time too because we saw a lot of impact on the toy industries during the COVID time and that film to TV toy influence, like stuff getting shipped too soon. We saw it before that with some of the G.I. Joe movies and stuff too, but like I feel like there was massive impacts and delays due to COVID and so much backup in the ports and being able to deliver inventory and stuff. So
it's kind of funny because that one character from the Star Wars sequel who was in the first two, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he was the guy that everybody thought was like Darth Vader reincarnated and stuff. And he was like, talking. He's the guy that talked to Kylo Ren. I can't think of his name, but so all the stores ordered this figure because everybody thought he was going to be this awesome, like, new emperor type figure, character. Right. And in the beginning of the second, sequel, they take him out and kill him. Right. And it's like those figures peg worn for so long.
Oh, yeah.
It was like,
that's
all the stores were like,
point.
what the hell? Because they probably ordered extra because they thought he was going to be such a cool figure. Because everybody was wondering if it was the Emperor reincarnated. Yeah, Snoke. That's right. That was his name. Everybody thought he was the Emperor reincarnated or Vader reincarnated, and here he gets killed right at the beginning of the second show.
Yeah, that'll be a great piece to that too, for sure. There's space aliens in a Fallout game. I don't remember that, but that makes sense.
I never played Fallout, so I couldn't tell you.
It's been so long. I never played like the next gen console versions. I played the old school PC versions before it was cool.
Yeah.
Because that's me. I was always into the cool stuff before it was cool. Trendsetter.
Well, yeah. Trendsetter.
That's
definitely
me.
A trendsetter. I mean,
absolutely.
You were on top of Spaceballs before Star Wars.
I'm saying.
Thing,
right, exactly. Yeah. Like Star Wars. Like that sounds really fishy. Like maybe really you stole the idea from Spaceballs, guys. I mean, So, but yeah.
So, we got anything coming up soon?
Yeah, actually, we do. A lot of hot crap. No, we have our show next Tuesday. But before we get to our show next Tuesday, we have been invited to be guests on some really cool show. What's that show? Hello Dope Toys on Sunday night. So we'll be on there. Their live stream. Toys.
Yeah. And so, also Sunday morning, I will be on Coloring with Allison from Allison Retro Toy Princess. I will be on her channel Coloring Sunday morning, and then you'll get to see my beautiful face again Sunday night on Hello Dope.
Good deal, man. You're making the tours for the ToyLeet, dude. Just make sure you represent. Let them know who runs the show. It's a takeover.
That's right. Take it over.
Exactly. So we got that. We'll be appearing on the I was gonna call it the ToyLeet show, but the Helidope show on Sunday.
Well, it will be ToyLeet with us on there.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it doesn't get.
It'll be better. Hella ToyLeet.
I think we might have to brand that.
Yeah.
So we'll or Hella Wonderful. Maybe. No. We'll see. We'll work on it. We'll brainstorm.
Flash Gordon definitely had a cool toy line back in the 80s based off the cartoon. And when the movie came out in the 80s, and then NECA's doing like some of the figures.
I was going to say, I thought I've seen him on NECA on the Walmart.
NECA did them, and I I think it was Boss Fight or somebody related to Boss Fight did some smaller ones. But they had a lot of cool, just like, Star Wars, they had a lot of cool aliens and things like that. They could definitely be, something that broadened the horizons.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I'd seen those on those, but yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I've seen some of they got some aliens, and I don't know much about the Flash Gordon lore. So it's definitely something I would check out if there was some content and stuff there. But yeah. So yeah, we got Helidope on.
Flash
on
Gordon's been
Sunday.
around since I want to say the 30s or 40s.
Oh, it's been around forever, right?
Novels with radio shows, and then movies, and TV shows and cartoons and all of it, right? Lots of different lore, comic books. So he's been in a lot of different things.
Good deal. So yeah, you're going to be on Allison's show on Sunday morning. We're going to be on the Helidope show on Sunday night. We've got you'll likely be on the clubhouse on Saturday. I probably won't be popping in the clubhouse this weekend just because I got quite a bit going on with my daughter on Friday. So nothing going on the next few nights. Obviously I'll be tuning in, flipping back and forth from the Punk with Toys, doing their and Allison doing their promotional stuff with the kickoff for Fuel the Schwartz or Power
tomorrow night. They've got Punk's video for the review of Han Solo for Power of the Force goes up, and then him and Allison can be live. I'm not sure if Payne is doing a show tomorrow night because of that or not, but
I also know that Highly Articulated has his show on tomorrow night where they're going to be talking about the AWOC Kickstarter and the backer kit. So that's something I'll be probably checking out in parallel to
and then
knockoff Spaceballs.
Thursday night, Punks on Film on Punks on Film's channel. They'll be doing Star Wars Troops, which was a fan-made Star Wars movie back in the 90s, I believe.
Man, Star Wars everywhere this month, I guess. So yeah, we got a busy schedule ahead of us the next few days. You can catch us in a couple different places. I know you end up running the mod for Thursday night, I think, with Punk, and then obviously you have the mod for Random Diorama on Friday night, the late night, and then you'll be doing the
Clubhouse.
The clubhouse. Thank you. I was gonna say the Punk House. I mean, why not, right? Because
I'm sure he's gonna take it over sooner or later.
Exactly.
He's just let Oz keep the clubhouse for now because he
for now
hasn't paid the dues yet. Yeah,
he hasn't time to deal with it. Is what it comes down to. He's too busy with other stuff, So that, and then we got you and Allison, and then us and Helidope, and then you'll be modding Punk on Monday night next week with his 3-hour rant of how crappy we are. I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'll be back next week on Tuesday to talk about how films and TVs influence toys, the movie merch episode.
Absolutely.
We'll continue to do stuff. So definitely big things coming.
We got something special coming out next Tuesday, so make sure you get here on time, 9:00. We'll be
very excited for that. I've a lot in the works for that. Continuing with the rebranding approach and just getting everything aligned. I think you guys will be really happy with what we're bringing forward, and continue to provide us your insight and feedback. We are open to constructive criticism. If it's too constructive, we'll just have Punk kick your ass and call it a day. So,
we'll have Punk ban you from YouTube forever, no matter what name or email you use. He's got the bots to do that because he's got money coming out of his pockets like you wouldn't believe.
Right. And anything else, Ed?
Nothing other than we appreciate the comments you guys have been putting on the videos and stuff, and the likes and all that, so keep doing that for us. We appreciate it. And anything you guys do want to see us cover, we'll gladly take it into consideration, and always looking for fresh topics.
And then one thing I just wanted to that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. One of the things I wanted to just call out was, again, go check out Figure Fix for some cool photos. Check out Toy Domination over on Instagram. How did he say his name? Was it Shoot Me 91? Shoot Me 91, CHUTE _MI91. We'll have that stuff in the description below. Get that updated by tomorrow.
And those the retro pictures. Yeah, while you're talking about that, the retro pictures, check out 3D Joe's for any of your G.I. Joe stuff. He's got everything from 1964 up to current, O-rings anyway. He doesn't have any of the classifieds, but really cool layout for his site. And then the Major Matt Mason came from PlaidStallions.com, which has a lot of old vintage toys coverage too, from Major Matt Mason, G.I. Joe, Mego, all sorts of stuff on that channel.
And then everything else I think was just from like Hasbro Pulse
random.
and Store Horseman
Right.
and you know the main producers of the
Yep.
stuff, Lego, etc. So check out the independent creators and stuff. Check out their stuff. They got some really good stuff. And oh yeah, shout out from the
Just
Crick that
pop
went
it
to
in.
Largo. Go
Yep.
check that back out. Check his stuff out. He's a rock star, very supportive of many people in the community. And just want to say thanks, everyone. Look forward to
Yep.
seeing you guys. Check us out on the Hella Dope Show on Sunday night. Hit up Ed on the Allison Coloring Show on Sunday morning.
Yep.
Catch us in between.
I'll be putting a
We'll see
thumbnail
you
up
guys.
on my Instagram later for the Allison thing. So